everybody, my name's Minhua. Today I learned Arabic.
Welcome to arithmetic. We're going to start by reviewing some facts. Our two multiplication family. Girls are going to start the fact and boys are going to give the answer. So girls, you will say 0 times 2. Boys, you will say equals 0. Girls, ready? Begin. 0 times 2 equals 0. 1 times 2
3 times 2 equals 6. 4 times 2 equals 8. 5 times 2 equals 10. 6 times 2 equals
12. 7 times 2 equals 14. 8 times 2 equals 16. 9 times 2 equals 18. 10 times 2 equals 20. 11 times 2 equals 22. 12 times 2 equals 24. Fantastic teamwork. Boys, you're going to start this time, and girls, you're going to give the answer. 0 times 4 equals 0. 1 times 4 equals 4. 2 times 4 equals 8. 3 times 4 equals 12. 4 times 4 equals 16. 5 times 4 equals 20. 6 times 4 equals 25. 7 times 4 equals 28. 8 times 4 equals 32. 9 times 4 equals 36. 10 times 4 equals 40. 11 times 4 equals 44. 12 times 4 equals 48. Ooh, great teamwork as you said those facts. Carson?
16.
Morgan? Anyone? Dev?
21.
21. Students watch you are correct. 5? Yes, 16 is correct. 2 times 10 equals row 4. Dev?
20.
Yes, you are correct. Nice job. At this time, you're going to do speed drill, lesson 26. You'll have 2 minutes. Prepare for your speed drill. Speed drill positions. Lesson 26, 2 minutes. You may begin. 103 plus 30. Point to the number, you add that in your head, and then give me the final answer. 3 plus 1 is?
4.
Plus 4 is?
8.
Good. Let's do our tens column. 0 plus 2 is?
2.
Plus 4 is?
6.
Good. Fast thinking. And I like that teamwork with those answers as well. 9 plus 7 is?
16.
16 plus 9 is?
25.
25 is correct. So I will place my 5 here in the hundreds column. The 2 gets carried to the thousands column. And I will add that digit to the top. 2 plus 8 is?
10.
Plus 9 is?
19.
19 plus 7 is?
26.
26 is correct. So we'll put the 6 in the 1,000, carry the 2 to the 10,000s, and then we will add that on top of the next column. 2 plus 7 is?
9.
Plus 3 is?
12.
Plus 6 is?
18.
18 is correct. So then we will place that comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. Read my final answer for me, Deb.
186,568.
Fantastic job as you read that large number. Now we're going to take a look at these shapes. When we do so, we're going to work these together. You're going to need a scrap sheet of paper, a pencil, and a ruler. Take those items out. Does this rectangle have? Going to divide it in half. We are going to divide it in half, 2 equal parts, from vertex to vertex. So take your ruler and line it up at vertex 1. Then make it go diagonal so that it will also line up at vertex 3. You are going to divide it from vertex 1 to vertex 3. So it should look similar to this, where you divided your shape from the first vertex to the third vertex. Here's 1/2, here's 1/2. Now we're going to label each part. So the first part is 1/2 of the whole. This part is 1/2 of the whole as well. Now, On your paper, draw a square as close to exact as you can. How many vertexes are in a square? Jacob?
4.
Good, there are 4. We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. How many sides are in a square, Josh?
4.
Good. How many right angles are in this square, Gage? 4. You are correct. I could have a right angle here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Those are all of my right angles. We are going to divide this square in half from vertex 1 to vertex 3. So take your ruler and line it up so that you have it in a slanted line that we call a diagonal line. And you're going to draw a line from vertex 1 to vertex 3. And you have just divided your square in half. Now let's label these parts. We have 1/2 on top and we have 1/2 on the bottom. And our square has been divided in half. Now draw a circle on your paper similar to mine and then place a dot in the middle. We're going to divide our circle in half. Does our circle have any vertexes, Dev?
No.
Right. Does our circle have any sides, Jimmy? It does not. It has 0 sides to divide it. We're going to use the middle dot to line our ruler up. So place your ruler through the dot in the middle. Make your ruler go from top to bottom, and then you're going to draw a line straight through that dot in the center. So we have just divided each of these shapes in half. When I say half, what number do you think, Emily?
2.
2, that is correct. Now take these materials and set them away. So your paper can go away, your ruler, your pencil. Now I love to bake. So I went and I have 2 cookie jars. I am going to take my cookies and divide them between the 2 cookie jars. 1 cookie jar we'll use for the girls, and 1 cookie jar we are going to use for the boys. I want to keep it even because I want to share. So I am going to take my 2 cookie jars and divide my cookies between my 2 cookie jars. So I need Emily, Arthur, Jimmy, and Adriana to come and be my helpers for me. You may stand to the side of my cookie jars, and I'm going to give them some cookies to count so we can find out how many cookies in all. First of all, we're going to use Emily and Jimmy, Adriana, and Arthur will come to you in just a moment. So I'm going to share these cookies, and I'm going to give 1 to Emily and 1 to Jimmy. You can put your hands out and we're going to keep going. So far, I've given out 2 cookies. Here you can count with me. Let's start with 3. Begin. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. See how many cookies would go in the girls' cookie jar. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Are Una?
13.
Not 13, but what number did we stop at? What was the last number we said?
24.
No? What was the last number we said, Madison?
12.
12 is correct. Thank you, Emily. You may be seated. Let's see how many cookies Jimmy has to add to the boys' cookie jar. Count with me. Ready? Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. How many cookies does the boys' cookie jar have, Dev?
12.
Thank you, Jimmy. There are 12 cookies. Thank you, Jimmy. You may be seated. So we have 12 cookies in the girls' cookie jar and 12 cookies in the boys' cookie jar. So we took 24 cookies, we divided them between 2 cookie jars, and each cookie jar has 12 cookies inside of it. We have just done a division fact. So we have 24 in all divided them into 2 groups, and our answer is, now Adriana, you can come please. Let's take a look at these 2 problems that I have on the chalkboard. The first one says 8 divided by 2 equals 4. That is a division sentence. The first number, the 8, we call the dividend. The next number, the 2, we call the divisor, and the answer we call a quotient. So we can write the division problem or the division sentence as 8 divided by 2 equals 4. 8 is the number we start with. The divisor is the number of groups, and the quotient is my answer. So it's dividend, divisor, quotient. Listen, then repeat. Dividend,
Dividend.
divisor,
Divisor.
quotient.
Quotient.
Which one is the answer to my problem, Carson?
The quotient.
Good. Now there is a second way we can write this problem. We can also write it what looks like a house. We have a number inside, a number outside, and a number on top. The number inside is the number we start with, the dividend. The number outside is the number of groups, the divisor. The quotient can also be written as the answer on top. So we would read this problem, 8 divided by 2 equals 4. So we still have dividend, divisor, and quotient. Say it when I point to it. Ready? Begin. Dividend, divisor, quotient. So you see 8 underneath. Divisor is the number of groups, and the quotient, 4, is on top. We're going to take a look at a couple more facts. This time, we're going to start with a different number of cookies. So hand me your cookies. Helpers, stay for just a moment. I'm going to take a couple of these cookies away, and we're going to take these cookies, we're going to give them to a friend. Now let's see how many cookies I'm going to divide between Arthur and Adriana. So helpers, hold out your hands. Let's take our cookies, and you can count with me starting with 1. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So we started with 18 cookies this time. Now, Adriana, put yours in your cookie jar. Arthur, can put yours in your cookie jar. We'll find out the answer to this problem in just a moment. We took the number of 18. How many groups are we dividing it into, Gage? 2. So we're going to start with 18. We're going to write our division symbol, which is a line on the top, and a line and then a dot on the top and a dot on the bottom. Thank you. And we're going to divide by the number of groups. So we have 18 divided by 2, and the answer will be in the cookie jar. So let's take a look at how many cookies. You can count while I point. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And just to make sure it is 9, let's count the boys' cookie jar. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Good. So 18 divided by 2 equals 9. Let's have Madison and Presley come. We're going to do another problem. So Presley, come collect the cookies from the boys' cookie jar. Madison, come collect the cookies from the girls' cookie jar. When you're reading through your division sentence, these problems read 24 divided by 2 equals 12. Let's say that. Begin. 24 divided by 2 equals 12. Good. Let's listen to the next one, and then we'll read it together. 18 divided by 2 equals 9. Together? 18 divided by 2 equals 9. What do I call the 12 and the 9, Anna? My what? Caden? Yes, you've got it. It is the quotient. All right, helpers, hand me your cookies. We're going to do another problem. I'm going to hide Presley for us. Madison, scoot closer to me. And we're going to take these cookies and divide them equally. So hands ready to help me count. 1, 2, you can count with me. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. What number are we starting with, Caden?
14.
So we're going to start with 14. Madison, you can put yours in the girls' cookie jar. And Presley, you can come put yours in the boys' cookie jar. So we have 14 divided by what? Carson, how many groups?
14 divided by 2.
Good. And we're going to find out what the quotient is, or what the answer is inside of their cookie jar while they're finishing up. Let's take a look at the top, and we're going to say the terms in our division sentence. Dividend, divisor, quotient. Begin. Dividend, divisor, quotient. One more time. Dividend, divisor, quotient. Thank you, Madison and Presley. Let's find out the quotient, that answer. Look inside the girls' cookie jar and count while I point. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's check the boys' cookie jar. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the answer, 14 divided by 2, is what, Asa? It's related to the 2 multiplication family. What we are doing is we are starting with the answer, we are dividing or putting it into 2 groups, and then that quotient is that number that we would normally start with in our multiplication family. So let's take a look at this division family. Listen as I point to the first one, and I'll read it and then we'll say it together. This one reads 0 divided by 2 equals 0. Notice on this side, you're counting from 0 to 24 by 2s. Let's do that starting at 0. Ready? 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Good. 2 is the number of groups, my number of cookie jars. And then 0 through 12 is the number that would be the answer inside each cookie jar. So let's read our facts starting with 0 divided by 2. Together begin. 0 divided by 2 equals 0. 2 divided by 2 equals 1. 4 divided by 2 equals 2. 6 divided by 2 equals 3. 8 divided by 2 equals 4. 10 divided by 2 equals 5. 12 divided by 2 equals 6. 14 divided by 2 equals 7. 15 divided by 2 equals 8. 18 divided by 2 equals 9. 20 divided by 2 equals 10. 22 divided by 2 equals 11. 24 divided by 2 equals 12. Now we put all of these into 2 equal groups. But what if we only had 1 cookie jar? What if we were just going to take the number and divide it into 1? Well, it would be the exact number of groups as we started with. So if we have no cookies, we can't even put them into 1 cookie jar, so the answer would still be 0. Kind of like with our multiplication facts, King 0 also reigns in the division facts. Nothing is greater than King 0. He will always be the answer even in division facts. When you see a 0, the answer is 0. Now, if I had 1 cookie and I put it into 1 jar, the answer is still 1. If I had 2 cookies and I put them into 1 jar, I would still have 2 cookies. If I had 3 cookies and put them into 1 jar, the answer would be 3. So do you see how the number you start with, if you have 1 jar, is going to be the same number of cookies? Anything the same number. So these facts will be simple and easy for us to understand. So let's start with 0 divided by 1. We'll say through our 1 division family together. Begin. 0 divided by 1 equals 0. 1 divided by 1 equals 1. 2 divided by 1 equals 2. 3 divided by 1 equals 3. 4 divided by 1 equals 4. 5 divided by 1 equals 5. 6 divided by 1 equals 6. 7 divided by 1 equals 7. 8 divided by 1 equals 8. 9 divided by 1 equals 9. 10 divided by 1 equals 10. 11 divided by 1 equals 11. 12 divided by 1 equals 12. Good. We're going to practice through some of these on our arithmetic paper. So take out your paper and a pencil, put your name at the top. let's take a look at the box where it says the meaning of division. When you think division, think dividing into groups. So you see those different animals there. They're each in groups of 2. So you're starting with a dividend. Your divisor is the number of groups, and your quotient is the answer. You see both ways that fact is written. 12 divided by 2 equals 6, and then you see where that is written out as a straight sentence, Josh. Then you see where the 12 is inside the house, 2 is outside, and the number 6, the quotient, is on top. So when I say dividend, Gage, you're going to read the sentence. Do you see where it says number of objects? That's what you're going to say. I'm going to start, and you give me that phrase. Dividend.
Number of objects.
Good. Let's do that as a team. Dividend. Number of objects. Good. Divisor. Number in each group. Quotient. Number of groups. So let's look at number 1. We're going to use these pictures to help us answer the questions. Letter A. How many velvet worms in all? So count each individual worm. How many are there, Carson?
6.
So that's the answer for letter A. Now letter B. How many velvet worms are in each group? The first shaded group goes together. In just the first group, how many velvet worms are there, Josh? Put your finger on that first group, and how many are inside? 3. So that is the answer for letter B. Now, how many groups? How many shaded circles are there, Adriana? 2. So that's the answer for letter C. Now let's look at the next group. Letter D. How many rhinoceros beetles in all? Count every single one. Dev? 6. There are 6 in all. Letter E. How many rhinoceros beetles in each group? So put your finger on the first shaded group. How many beetles inside, Gage?
6.
Not 6, on just one shaded group. 2 is the answer. Now for letter F, how many groups of rhinoceros beetles are there? Josh?
6.
Not 6. How many shaded groups? You see the first group shaded together, the second group, and the? Yes, so there are 3. There are 3 groups. Now look at the division sentence. 6 divided by 2 equals 3. Then you see where the 6 is in the? 2 is correct. Now look at the division sentence. 10 divided by 5 equals 2. Look at the division house. Put your finger on the 10. Put your 5 on the 2, or on the 5, and then put your finger on the 2. Which one is the quotient? Gage? Arthur?
2.
The 2, good. 2 is the quotient. Now flip your papers to the back. Let's look at 1 and 2 as divisors. Put your fingers on the owls. There are 5 owls. There's 1 in every group, but there are 5 groups of owls. So 5 inside the house divided by 1 equals 5 as the quotient. Look at the division sentence. 5 divided by 1 equals 5. Now look at the right side. You see 10 owls. 2 owls in each group. There are 5 groups of owls. Put your finger on the division house. 10 divided by 2 equals the quotient 5. Put your finger on the division sentence. 10 divided by 2 equals 5. The answer 5 is called the what, students watching? And Anna. How about Caden? Asa? Morgan?
Quotient.
It is the quotient. Class, repeat.
Quotient.
Yes, when you think answer in a division problem, think quotient. Any number divided by 1 is that same number. 0 cannot be a divisor. So let's look at number 2. Divide by 2. You may use the mice to help you. So look at 4 divided by 2. Count 4 mice. There's 2 groups of mice. Circle one of those groups. How many mice would be in one of those groups? Gage?
2.
Good. So if you took 4, and then how many mice would you have in just one of those groups, Carson?
5.
5. For letter C, 14 divided by 2. Count over 14 mice, draw a line, put them into 2 equal groups. How many mice would you have in a group? Asa?
7.
Good. 7, your quotient right on top. Letter D, 24 divided by 2. Count over 24 mice, draw a line. Put them into 2 equal groups. 24 divided by 2. Gage?
12.
12. Write your quotient on top. Now you may work letter E through H. Let's check these answers. So for letter E, 6 divided by 2. What is your quotient, Tyra? Not 12. Take 6, split them into 2 equal groups. Look inside one group, and how many would you have? No, you're getting closer. Let's take our cookies. We're going to start with 6. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to set the rest of the cookies aside. We'll move these down here. All right, we're going to split them, Tyra, into 2 groups. So count as I split them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My answer is in this cookie jar. How many is 6 divided by top? Letter G. 22 divided by 2 is what, Una?
11.
Write your quotient on top. Letter H. 16 divided by 2 equals what, Carly?
8.
8. Your quotient goes on top. Let's look at number 3. Write the products. Begin working problems. Letter A, B, C, D, and E. Emily, will you turn on the lights for me? Go do problem number 2 on the chalkboard. It's letter B. You know, work problem letter number 3 on the chalkboard. It's letter C. And Morgan, you can do number 4 on the chalkboard. It's letter D. Okay, good. 5 times, yes, 3 times 3 plus 1. We'll start with 3 times 3 equals. See 10 owls. 2 owls. How about Caden? Asa? Morgan?
Quotient.
It is the quotient. Class, repeat.
Quotient.
Yes, when you think answer in a division problem, think quotient. Any number divided by 1 is that same number. 0 cannot be a divisor. So let's look at number 2. Divide by 2. You may use the mice to help you. So look at 4 divided by 2. Count 4 mice. There's 2 groups of mice. Circle one of those groups. How many mice would be in one of those groups? Gage?
2.
Good. So if you took 4 mice, put them in 2 groups, 2 would be your answer. Write it on top of the house. Write your quotient on top. Letter B. you have 10 divided by 2. Count to 10 mice. Draw a line. Put them into 2 equal groups. And then how many mice would you have in just one of those groups, Carson?
5.
5. For letter C, 14 divided by 2. Count over 14 mice. Draw a line. Put them into 2 equal groups. How many mice would you have in a group? Asa?
7.
Good. 7, your quotient right on top. Letter D, 24 divided by 2. Count over 24 mice. Draw a line. Put them into 2 equal groups. 24 divided by 2. Gage?
12.
12. Write your quotient on top. Now you may work letter E through H. Let's check these answers. So for letter E, 6 divided by 2, what is your quotient, Tyra? Not 12. Take 6, split them into 2 equal groups. Look inside one group, and how many would you have? No, you're getting closer. Let's take our cookies. We're going to start with 6. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to set the rest of the cookies aside. We'll move these down here. All right, we're going to split them, Tyra, into 2 groups. So count as I split them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. My answer is in this cookie jar. How many is 6 divided by 2? Count them. 1, 2, 3. So 3 is your answer. Letter F, 12 divided by 2 is what, Gage? Yes, write your quotient on top. Letter G, 22 divided by 2 is what, Una?
11.
Write your quotient on top. Letter H, 16 divided by 2 equals what, Carly?
8.
8. Your quotient goes on top. Let's look at number 3. Write the products. Begin working problems. Letter A, B, C, D, and E. Emily, will you turn on the lights for us? Madison, will you go do number 1? On the chalkboard, it's letter A. Adriana, go do problem number 2 on the chalkboard. It's letter B. Una, work problem letter number 3 on the chalkboard. It's letter C. Morgan, you can do number 4 on the chalkboard. It's letter D. Okay, good. 5 times, yes, 3 times 3 plus 1. We'll start with 3 times 3 equals